I would like to take this opportunity to speak about how the paradigm of money is keeping this planet in a state of low evolution, and how together as a humanity we can transform that. Now, money is simply a measurement of energy, okay? But it was introduced by the empire, by a dominating way of being that wished to own and control others. And ultimately, everything in our holographic universe is alive. Anything that is vibrating has a consciousness, whether we can detect it with our retinas or not. So, for instance, the earth is a living entity. The concept of owning a living entity is enslavement. Okay, so, you know, for those that are caught up in this matrix of money, dominance and power, they want to own as much as they can, thinking that life is like a big monopoly game. I simply ask that you question that paradigm if we are to evolve as a species. I would also like to point out that the money symbol, which is simply the S with either one bar or two down through the middle, that this symbol is a talisman, if you will. It's a magical symbol which has been imbued with energy to suppress the sacred feminine, i.e. nature. And that is because the sacred feminine is the serpentine energy, which is that S, and she's literally been put behind bars. In other words, money has replaced nature and the cosmos as God. This is why people worship money in the West. This is why people go to shopping centres instead of temples on Sundays. It's because this symbol, every time we use this symbol, every time people go, oh, I wish I had more money, they are embedding, they are infusing that sacred, well, it's not a sacred symbol, that magical glyph with more and more power, more and more energy. And that is enslaving our natural selves, because the natural way of being is to share. That's what any mother teaches her child, because that is the way of nature. Nature doesn't keep an inventory, okay? You take and you give. That's how the circle keeps moving. And this is why women in this paradigm have been suffering in poverty more than men, because, and also men who have operated more from their hearts, more in the feminine polarity, because the feminine naturally gives from her heart, okay, because it feels good to give. Just as the man, if we look at a circle of energy, he gives out from his penis to propagate life, to seed new life. And if one is to understand Tantra, this is a current, if you will, electrically between men and women, okay, that creates life. Women give out love through the heart, and men give out life from the penis, right? So, we look at that on this planet, women have given and given and given from the heart without necessarily expecting anything in return. But the unconscious masculine has not honoured what the feminine has gifted. So more and more women have become depleted. Women have become martyred, bitter, resentful, and not wanted to give anymore. This is also why energetically we have an epidemic of breast cancer. Women that have just given and given and given to the point where they don't dare express that they're feeling so much resentment because they're afraid of not being loved in return if they stop being the all-giving cornucopia cow goddess. So, mothering everybody. So, it is time for this paradigm to shift. And the way that I suggest that we as a people do this is to barter more, okay? Because the more that we give what we have without buying into that empirical measurement system called money, the more we dismantle the power of that. So yes, I understand we still are in the 3D realm. A lot of our external structures are, and that'll be the last thing to change into the fifth dimensional soul-based reality. But the more that we are open to exchange, and I mean symbiotic exchange, I don't mean accepting two goats if that isn't what you need. You know, be very clear in speaking what your needs are so that you can negotiate what feels like a just and equitable exchange, but be more and more open to exchange of your gifts, of that which you love doing, that which you have doing, that which you naturally have. This might be, you know, I have an arrangement with my neighbour where he does firewood, and in exchange I cook, take over extra food that I've cooked. It doesn't cost me any extra energy to cook that extra amount of food, just as for him, he's going to be cutting and stacking that wood anyway. It's about us looking after each other more, rather than hoarding with this mentality of my self-worth is dependent on how much money measurement I can prove I have amassed, because that is ultimately the way of the unconscious masculine. And if we want to evolve, okay, if we want to unleash our full life force so that we are alive, we are creative beings, like that kundalini serpent, that energy current from the center of the earth right up our central nervous system, up our spines, to become aware, loving, conscious beings, then we need to contemplate the possibility of moving beyond the money system. So thank you for listening. If this resonates with you, please share this information. Thank you.